Yo, what's up, guys? It's Mix Knob, and still on how I mix my low end. In this particular video, I'll be showing you how I mix my bass. In the previous video, I showed you how I mixed my low end bass in respect to the plugins I used on it. I also showed you how I mixed my kick and the effects I used on it as well. So in this video, I'll be talking about how I mix my bass. Basically, I'll be showing you everything I did on my bass. But before we go ahead, I'm going to play the bass for you so you can hear what we'll be working with. Yeah, so this is what we'll be working with today, and you can hear how controlled the bass sounds as I engaged all those plugins. So I'm going to show you everything I did to make the bass sound this controlled. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so to help the channel grow, and also click on the notification and like button as well. So back to how I mixed my bass. If you look closely, you see we have four bass. Initially it was two bass, but what I did was to duplicate the two bass. So I duplicated bass one and bass two. So bass one have bass one low, that is the bass 1L you're seeing here, and it has bass 1 high, which is the bass 1H you're seeing here. I did the same thing for the bass 2. I created a bass 2 low and bass 2 high. So I'm going to start with the bass 1 low and bass 2 low and show you what I did on them. So the first plugin I used is this EQ. What I did was to remove everything below 120 hertz. So I wrote off everything below 120 hertz, and I used the low shelf filter to remove 20 hertz. So that's the same thing I did with the kick. So I don't want unwanted frequency. So I removed it. That's the same thing I'm doing for the low bass too. Yeah, that's the same thing, the same EQ setting I'm using for low bass too. I'm going to play it for you to hear how it sounds with and without this EQ on. Then hear how it sounds. So you can hear how it sounds. It's just taking out those high frequencies that is not really needed on this particular bass. So the next thing I added is this PS22 split, and I use the presets gentle stereo enhancer. Um, Let me pull this up too, so you can see on the low bass one and the low bass 2 I'm using the same thing. The only difference is the F density. So the low bass one I'm using, I push the L density to 0.25, that is to the right, and then on this bass 2 I'm pushing the F density to minus 0.25. That's the only thing I did when after choosing this preset. So initially the preset was like this. So it was in the middle, and the F density was 0. So what I did was to push low bass 1 to the right and low bass 2 to the left, just to spread them out a little bit. That's what I did. So I'm going to play it before and after so you hear what this plugin is actually doing. As you can hear, it's a very, very subtle move. So that's what I used that particular plugin for. After then, the next thing I did was to add my was to add my effect. Sorry. Let me show you the effect I'm using. This is the effect I'm using for my bass, the low sub. Before it was low bite and this one was low parallel. So I changed it because the low parallel was supposed to add bite to the kick. So that's why I changed it to bite, and this to add sub to the bass. So that's why I changed the name. So the first plugin I added on this effect is the low air. So this is the first plugin I added, and I used outside the club. This is the preset I used. So what I was going for was this feel you get when you're walking towards the door of a club, the bass you hear outside, the rumble you hear from the outside. So that was what I was going for. That was why I used this preset. The next plugin I added is this EQ right here. This is just to control a little bit, and I use the low shelf filter to reduce these frequencies. So everything below this 3050 hertz, everything is controlled. So after then, the next plugin I added is this MV2. So this is a low level compressor. I boosted the low level to 40 hertz, and then the high level I reduced it to 40 hertz as well. Then used my output to control the volume that is coming out from this plugin. So I dropped it to 40 decibel, not 40 hertz. So I'm just explaining. After then I'll play so you hear what this plugin is doing. Then the next plugin I added is this EQ. So I don't want all the frequency to go into the low bass. So I used a low pass filter to remove everything above 5.17 kilohertz and a high shelf filter to remove everything below 40 hertz. So this is just for control, just to control it a little bit. And lastly, I added this plugin here. I added 5 decibel of saturation with this particular plugin. So let me play it for you so you hear what this effect is actually doing on the low end. So I'll start with this one, then I'll play the other one so you hear what it's doing too. So I'm going to play with both bass. Yeah, so you can hear what it's doing. This is just to let the bass cut through the smaller speakers. Um, I'll play this first. So listen closely. You hear that this is panned to the right or to the left. So just listen. See, it's panned slightly. Listen to this other one too. So it's pan just slightly. It's just pan slightly. So you won't even notice it if you didn't pay close attention to it. So that was what I was going for, and that was the reason why I added these plugins, both of them. So I'm having more control on these two bass. Yeah, so that's what I did on my bass low. Let me show you what I did on my bass high. So on my bass high, I added an equalizer. So this time around, using the I'm using the high pass filter and taking everything below 120 hertz out. So everything below 120 hertz, I'm taking it out and I'm leaving everything above it. So that's what I used this EQ for, and it's the same with this other um, bass too. So the same settings. So I'm going to play it before and after, so you can hear what this is doing. Yeah, so it's just taking out that low end. The first two bass, the bass one and bass two low, is just to retain that low end, while this other one high is just to take those low end out and retain the high end. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is to help the bass cut through small speakers like the iPhone speakers or cheap MP3 speakers. So that's why I'm adding this high and mixing it this way. So the main purpose is just to let the bass cut through more. The next plugin I'm using is this distortion plugin. So on the bass one high, I'm using this preset called um, more clip distortion. So the only thing I did here was just to reduce the output because the distortion was much. So I reduced the output to -10. And on this bass 2 high, I'm using blue clipping guitars, and I'm reducing the output to -10 as well. So I'm going to play it before and after so you can hear what this distortion is adding to this bass. So it's just adding more bite to the bass, so helping it cut through more. That's all I did on my bass. So I'm going to play it again with all these plugins on and without all these plugins on, and you see or you will hear what this bass is doing. So guys, this is how I mix my bass. If there's anything I'm missing out or I didn't explain very well, please leave it on the comment section and tell me what you think about this video as well. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so to help grow the channel. Share, like, comment, and also click on the notification button so you'll be notified when I'm dropping the next video. Thanks for watching and see you soon.